My question was that isn't it better to have them registered so we know where there could be a problem than to have them operating out of homes and not know who they are? I mean, right now we're talking about getting them registered and then giving you the authority to go in if you believe there's unsanitary conditions to go in and investigate. But if you don't even know where to go because there's no registration, then that hinders the state. So, I mean, under this bill, at least it would bring out who these people are that are operating these cottage bakeries out of their home, correct?
I agree. And in the meantime, during our break, I was able to look through the committee substitute. That was the first opportunity I've had to look at that. And so if we get a complaint or some kind of indication that there is a problem, this wouldn't allow us to go out because of the registration. The committee substitute does remove the requirement for us to do a pre-registration inspection. So that's something that was removed. So we would have to wait until we actually got a complaint or somebody had some concerns about an establishment before we go out and do, I guess, kind of a complaint investigation.
But they are required to register, are they not?
They're required to register, and we would have a list.
So you know who they're, okay.
Ms. Lois, may I ask her a question?
Chairman McReynolds.
Deborah, in terms of training under this bill, I'm a rural member of this committee. We have in place things like Ag Extension that is in every one of our counties. Could that be as a training point, or how do you envision if this bill becomes law, if folks get training on cleanliness and ingredients and other?
One of the things that the first bill had required the operator to have a certified food manager. The substitute changes it to a food handler. Currently, we accredit food handler training programs through the state, and there's less than 20 of them currently. One of the things and they are available mostly in large cities. So if you look at the list, most of our large cities have them because they've actually had that requirement through the local health department provisions for some time. The impact is going to be on rural Texas.
Yes, ma'am, and that's why I'm asking the question I'm asking.
There's a couple other bills introduced this session, so we have looked at that issue, and we currently under our jurisdiction have for the licensees those areas in the state that don't have local health departments, and so for anybody in those areas to obtain training is going to be problematic. The county extension agents are currently do certified food manager courses when there's a need for them. They're not doing it statewide for the food handler courses, so they're going into areas where there actually is a requirement of the local health department jurisdiction. But then again, we've got lots of rural Texas that's going to be problematic. There is some of the courses that are offered online. That was something that was required in our food handler bill. But then in the availability of internet computers is even a problem in rural Texas.
Like broadband and other products.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Members, other questions?
Madam Chair.
Sorry, Chairman Zerwell.
Thank you. You and I spoke at the break here regarding going back to this 25% that are felt to believe Bruce-borne illnesses, products that come out of a home. And I asked you specifically the question, were you able to differentiate between those that came out of food preparation that was subsequently bought or marketed versus food preparation that perhaps was not?
No, it was not. It was basically that list was just ones that were non-commercially prepared. And these are ones that would actually be linked up. Somebody actually gotten ill and actually had their diagnosis, which illness and was linked to some kind of home-produced food or non-commercially produced food. I think one of the things that I have been looking at some correspondence with our ethics person, and the numbers are probably even greater than that, because if you actually have a non-registered home production, those are currently they are done illegally. So it would be really hard to trace back an illness to that because it's one of those things that's kind of done underground. So the estimation is actually quite a few more illnesses than that, even that 25%.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure, Mathis, Representative Davis.
Let me just ask you a question. My grandmother was from like Menard County. She was 20 miles from town and 7 cattle guards to get to her ranch out there. And she's made this sweet and hot. Got started at 4 o'clock in the morning, making it, stewing it, cooking it. And she'd can it and sell it at the local country store. But she would, what she was doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago was illegal, or is that correct? Okay. I wonder if we had a policy, maybe we don't tell and don't ask.
Oh, yes, of course.
And maybe that's a good one, we ought to keep that.
One of the things that, I don't know, one of the things that we've really evolved with over the years, on our food rules, the Texas Food Establishment rules, are based upon the FDA Food Code, CDC's requirement, and our knowledge of an understanding of the food safety standards has really increased. I mean, we are actually looking at illnesses that we didn't even know about a few years ago. Norovirus is a perfect example. So I think our understanding of what food safety principles are has really expanded in the last few years. And so she might have been doing something just fine, but then again, she might not have been because we didn't know anything.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Okay.
Members, are there any other questions? Chair calls Salia Bandy, is that correct? Would you please state your name and who you represent for the record?
My name is Salia Bandy, and I live in Walworth, Texas, and I am the owner of Just Desserts of Georgetown. I am here today because I support House Bill 3282. I am a home baker, and I want to be legal and above board. I want to be able to advertise. I want to be able to grow my business. And I don't feel that I can do that right now with having to hide from the health department. And I do make wedding cakes. I teach locally. And very often I get questions in my classes about, can I sell my cakes? Because people take classes to learn how to do this. They go to parties, like we mentioned this morning, and somebody asks them for a cake, and they'll pay them for the cake. And they think, a good business that I can supplement my income. And we all know that it happens. Well, when I tell my students, I try to stay on the legal side. I say, well, actually, you need to contact your local health department and find out what their rules are. I do not tell them, yes, go ahead and go out and start selling your cakes to your entire neighborhood, because they may experience what I experienced. 6 years ago this month, my husband and I started construction on our dream house in Walworth. Within the blueprints, the plans included a separate structure which would house a fully equipped bakery, complete with commercial-grade appliances and other amenities designed to comply with county and state health codes. After working with the Williamson County Health Department on plans for the bakery, just as they require, all was progressing smoothly. The only exception that the health inspector took was that our house was on rainwater, and they did not know how to deal with rainwater, even though it's probably one of the cleanest sources of water that you could deal with. So I said, fine, I'll bring in the Jonah Water District and have city water for that. The facility was completed to the health department standards. When I applied for the permit certifying my bakery as a commercial kitchen, I was turned down because I have a septic system. In the planning phase, when I was working with the health department, I was told this would not be an issue because there are many, many commercial restaurants and places out in rural areas that have septic systems as well. Over the next 2 years, I worked with an engineer that the health department recommends and uses, but even he could not satisfy their demands. Every time the engineer solved an issue that the health inspector had brought up, they would throw up yet another barrier. In the meantime, I started renting commercial space at a certified kitchen so that I could do my business and do my wedding cakes. I have a great facility, all to the standards of the health department, but I am unable to use it to make wedding cakes for my customers. The most frustrating part of the whole ordeal is that I went to the health department in good faith, adhering to their rules and trying to become a legal business, only to be stymied at every turn. When my students, again, broach this class, subject in classes, I stay on the legal side of the issue, and I tell them to go see their county health department. I then secretly pray for their sanity because I know what they're going to go through, the same thing that I did. Most of my advertising is word of mouth from satisfied customers because I don't want the health department coming down on my illegal business. They made it clear that they know about me now and will watch out for my work. It's difficult to do what I love to do, create custom cakes, and employ good business practices while looking over my shoulder for the Williamson County Health Department. I urge you to pass House Bill 3282 because I know it will be an enormous step in the right direction in not only restoring my peace of mind and my business, but also benefiting countless other decorators within this great state. Also, there were some comments brought up about inventory and ingredients and things like that. I know where I get my ingredients from. I know that they come from a bona fide source. I don't go to farmers markets. I don't go to untested sources. They come off the grocery store shelf or from a bakery supplier. I file a Schedule C for my business, so I have records. I keep sales records, so I know who my customers are. I know if there's a problem, exactly who I can go back to and who I can contact. I do keep an inventory, so I do have those records available. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Members, are there any questions for Ms. Vandy? Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Chair calls Alan Harvey. Alan Harvey. Oh, really? Oh, that's... Okay, well, we'll call him again.